When we lose a loved one, we often are left holding the bag on a number of loose ends that need to be tied up in order for us to find some sort of ultimate closure. We have to deal with the last will and testament, the funeral arrangements, and executing the final wishes of our loved one. The thing that has always unsettled me about this process is that when that person is gone, we are forced to rely on the word of a lawyer, telling us what we legally have to do because it's what the deceased wanted. How do we know that these wishes haven't been doctored or even manipulated to meet someone else's agenda? Hello friends, and welcome back to ETF. Released as a Shudder original, Off Season is a horror movie directed by Mickey Keating, which was released in 2021. The movie tells the story of Mary Aldrich, a woman who travels to a remote island in order to sell her family's cottage, which has been in her family for generations. As Mary spends more time on the island, she begins to experience strange and frightening events that threaten her sanity and her life.
It's quite beautiful, you know.
This film plays out with a similar Lovecraftian tone and atmosphere to In the Mouth of Madness. In fact, the scene at the bar reminds me of a few key moments from that film. It moves along at a decent pace, drifting us into the cosmic horror of this place, with a winding and mysterious progression. We aren't sure what exactly is going on within this island community, or where things are going. It was shot on location in Rockport, Massachusetts, with additional filming taking place in Los Angeles. The movie also features a number of practical effects, including makeup and prosthetics. These practical elements give the movie a tactile quality that would be difficult to achieve with CGI alone, and they help to heighten the sense of dread and horror that permeates the entire film. Off Season also features a talented cast of actors, including Jocelyn Donahue in the lead role of Marie. Donahue is a veteran to the horror genre at this point, having previously appeared in films like House of the Devil, and even a small bit part in Insidious Chapter 2. Her performance in Off Season is particularly noteworthy, as she manages to convey a wide range of emotions and reactions despite the fact that much of the movie is filmed in close-ups. The supporting cast includes actors like Joe Swanberg, Melora Walters, and Richard Brake, all of whom deliver strong performances that help flesh out the movie's world and characters. Off Season has a distinctive visual look that contributes to its overall atmosphere of unease and tension. The film makes use of a number of different camera techniques and a muted color palette to create a sense of isolation and dread. As I already mentioned, one of the most notable camera techniques used in the film is its frequent use of close-ups. The camera often focuses tightly on Marie's face, heightening her anxiety and uncertainty. This technique also serves to isolate her from her surroundings, emphasizing her sense of disconnection from the world around her. The film also makes use of a number of tracking shots and Steadicam sequences, which serve to give the viewer a sense of the physical space of the island. These shots often follow Marie as she moves through the deserted streets and alleys, creating that sense of tension and unease as we anticipate what might be lurking around the next corner. In terms of the color, the film's palette is very muted and desaturated, with a heavy emphasis on grays and blues. The color scheme contributes to the overall sense of isolation and claustrophobia that permeates the film. The narrative plays with a number of psychological themes and concepts, fleshing out the nightmare that Marie finds herself trapped in. She is shown to be struggling with trauma and grief from the beginning of the film. She has recently lost her mother and is dealing with the difficult task of selling the family cottage. This trauma is a key factor in her vulnerability and susceptibility to these strange events on the island. Marie's grief is portrayed through her flashbacks to her mother's death, which are particularly haunting for her, especially when you factor in how the wishes she expressed about being buried on this island directly contrast what the legal system is forcing her to do. This being a Lovecraftian horror, it utilizes the powerful elements of the uncanny. The uncanny is a psychological concept that refers to something that is familiar yet strange or unsettling. We make use of the uncanny in a number of ways here, such as with the old photographs that Marie finds in the cottage, which are both familiar and unsettling. The uncanny is also used to create a sense of unease around the island's inhabitants, who are initially friendly but gradually reveal themselves to be sinister and unsettling. Moreover, this film also utilizes the uncanny valley, which is a concept that describes the discomfort people feel when they encounter something that is almost human, but not quite. One of the most interesting aspects of the film is the way that it blurs the line between reality and imagination. Throughout the film, we are never quite sure what is real or what is imagined. Marie's memories and perceptions are unreliable, and the island's inhabitants seem to exist in a strange, dreamlike world. This ambiguity creates a sense of disorientation and confusion that plants doubt within our minds. Finally, it's worth noting that Off-Season is a horror movie, and as such, it is designed to play on our deepest fears and anxieties. We make use of a number of classic horror tropes and techniques, such as jump scares and eerie music, to create that sense of dread that we are so accustomed to. The movie also uses visual and auditory elements to heighten the tension and suspense, such as the use of dark lighting and ominous sound effects. The psychology of horror is a complex and fascinating field, and Off-Season provides a great example of how filmmakers can use psychological concepts to create a truly terrifying experience for audiences. However, despite my deep-seated obsession with the soul-crushing dread of cosmic horror, which this film definitely applies in more ways than one, this one actually didn't do a ton for me. I think its creative choices just didn't mesh well together for my taste, and what we ended up with was very much a film that felt like it was attempting to emulate Carpenter's In the Mouth of Madness. The two films play out with a very similar tone and progression, and ultimately leave you wanting more than what they were able to provide. I'm not saying that this makes the film bad in any way. I loved In the Mouth of Madness. I guess I just hoped that somewhere along the way, this film would have found its own footing. The dialogue throughout this one felt utterly bland and lacking much emotion. Much is delivered in single-word, back-and-forth conversations, and much of it falls flat on delivery. However, at the same time, it lays on its lore and backstory pretty thick, through stretches of expository dialogue that dump information onto us about the town, its people, our protagonist's mother's backstory, and a cosmic entity that has cursed this place. I always loved seeing Jocelyn Donahue and Jeremy Gardner in films, but here they are underutilized in my opinion. The way I see it, there seems to be two types of cosmic horror films these days. There are those that delve into deeply psychological and character-driven stories that explore the depths of madness, paranoia, and take a character to the very brink of what they are capable of. And then there are those that focus more on their mystery, as we follow along with a character that we never fully explore, while they wind up wrapped in a horror so much greater than they could ever imagine or comprehend. The film's finale does go straight fucking Cthulhu, delivering us twists, reveals, and pulling absolutely no punches, so that's pretty fucking cool. Plus we do get another fun Richard Brake performance, which I can never get enough of. Well, friends, that's gonna be all for now. If you are interested in this film, I urge you to check it out for yourself and formulate your own thoughts and opinions about it. If you like this video, I urge you to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you aren't already. If you'd like to go the extra mile and support the channel even more, you can help support the channel on Ko-Fi, where you can drop a single tip, the cost of a cup of coffee, or less. No pressure, no tears required. We also have a Mercari store where you can go and get yourself a little piece of the ETF archive. While collecting VHS, Blu-rays, and DVDs over many years, we wind up with lots of duplicates, and we unfortunately can't store them all. So on our Mercari shop, we have all of those for sale. Purchasing those not only expands your collection, but makes room for us to expand ours. All the links for everything are down in the description. Until next time, stay safe, and as always, thanks for watching.